the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, thanks to all of the absolutely incredible contributions from my Optibotimus Plus channel members, especially the legendary Adam, we're going to be taking a look at the new Star Trek The Next Generation 35th Anniversary Retro Lieutenant Commander Data from Playmates Toys. The second officer of the Enterprise D, and the third figure to get that updated figure treatment new for 2022 for the packaging. Absolutely gorgeous. Very similar to what we saw during the Star Trek Next Generation run originally by Playmates Toys. You have the gorgeous Enterprise D in the background, Lieutenant Commander Data right here on the side, as well as a list of all of his Starfleet gear. You have this really nice blast showing that this is the 35th anniversary for Star Trek. Well, specifically, The Next Generation. When you come around to the back of the package, you got other figures from The Next Generation that are available, a list as well as a description of his Starfleet gear, and a little bit of a bio for him, as well as a code that you can scan, which is a Q code. Absolutely love that. This is so fun. I love how they started with the captain, went to the first officer, and now with Data goes to the second officer. And I hope that at least we get the rest of the bridge crew. But for the packaging on Data, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. And here we have Lieutenant Commander Data opened up and out of his packaging. And you know, this one, something about him, I get more of that vintage feel than I did with Picard or Riker. And a lot of it has to do with his accessories. Now, starting off first, he does come with this display base. Again, I do wish these were a little bit more like the original ones. I think that this is just kind of drab for the most part. I mean, you can see that it does kind of fit there, although it is a little bit more modern looking in terms of the curves and things like that. I just think that this one was a better looking one. It is, in my opinion. But you also do have these accessories. Now, this is the part that's funny. There are actual handles on here. That was, you can remove them. They just peg in there. So if you didn't want those on there, you can pop those off. Let me get that back on there. But Data had these handles on them. So you have the phaser, for example. So whoop. Here we go. Much better now. But he had these handles on there because the original vintage figure, his right hand was always out like that, and it could actually rotate around. And you'll see it when I do that time travel thing and go and take past Paul's version of Data and bring it here to the future so we can see the review. You'll see what I was talking about with the hand. I don't have his accessories anymore, but these are all basically recreations of those original accessories, and I love it. Even down to the little handles on there, because he needed the handles to slide into his hand to actually be able to hold it. And then this one here, this was also a really interesting one. This was like a diagnostic tool for Data. Again, the little point right here was used on that original vintage figure specifically to do some like diagnostics on him. And again, I'll show you that here in a bit. And I love the fact that they went back and did that with this. So you got the Type 2 phaser, you got the little blast effect coming out. It's permanently attached, you can't do anything with it. I do wish they kind of updated it where that was removable, but it is what it is. You do have the little handle. He comes with a tricorder, which is nice. It is mostly just, again, very similar to a lot of the other ones, but you got that little handle section. And then, like I said, this device. And then the figure itself, let's just do the time travel thing. Let's bring that in. So here, All right, bring this in here now. Here is the time travel machine, and let's I'm gonna take the camera and let's bring him in. Okay, so you see, like Data's not inside there. He's not in there yet. Let's do the time travel thing here. And there he is. There he is. You see Data inside there. So let's get this stuff out of the way. Let's come around to the side. Open that little side door, and there we go. There's Lieutenant Commander Data. Wonderful. Come back up here. Put that back where it's supposed to be. Let's get the time travel machine. Put that off to the side. And get that situated. And here's the vintage figure. And again, In terms of the figures and such, you can see that there's a nice difference between the two. This is a lot more accurate looking. But this is what I was kind of talking about. So this hand here was always in the shape of kind of, no, I'm dropping it, kind of like this holding sort of thing. This hand, though, this is the weird one. It's kind of got like this little point thing. They recreated that here, which I think is absolutely spectacular. I love that. But it was able to turn around and you could open that up, revealing like the internal mechanisms for him. But this is the part that I think is amazing. You come around to the back, and you also have this back section that could open, and he had a little hole thing in here. That whole thing is what this was meant to kind of plug into. So you could literally, I wonder if I can still do that. No, it doesn't really fit nearly as well. But that little hole thing was meant for that little post sort of thing. So you would just kind of put that in there. I don't know if that's, oh my goodness. Yeah, you just twist it in there. And now you could have like Jordy doing work on him. I love the fact that they kept that in there. It nicely homages that. Now, the thing that's unfortunate is he doesn't have that now here on the back. He doesn't have the little opening section on his wrist. But I love the fact that they still thought to include his accessories, which were meant to kind of do some of that diagnostic stuff. But here is the comparison. As you can see, very similar, obviously, in terms of the look. He's a little bit more pale, which I like a little bit more. This has a little bit of a yellowishness to it, but he was much more kind of white for the most part in the original first couple seasons. He did get a little bit more yellowish as time went on, but even like when you look at the face, I mean, I think that the face, if it focuses on it, come on, focus, there we go. I think the face is pretty good. I mean, his is, obviously much older. This one's actually, if it focuses on it, come on there, focus. There you go, that's not too bad. I would probably say that his likeness is the weakest of the three figures from Next Generation that I've gotten so far. But it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. So let's, we don't want this being here for too terribly long. So let's put him inside this, because that disrupts the space-time continuum. And I don't want to have Captain Picard have to go and fix that again. He always seems to have to do that. So let's get him standing right inside there. There we go. Let's close that up nice and neat. And let's, oh, there we go. Come on, put him inside there. And then, why is that not? There we go. So you can kind of see him. And there, let's send him back. So, there we go. Thank you, Pass Paul. It's always nice of myself to allow me to kind of borrow my old toys. But again, you take these little bits right here, and you can put it in there. Oh, I'm dropping it. Where'd you go? There we go. You can put it in here where he's going to hold that on there. But you don't really need that, honestly, because his hands still hold it pretty decently. So again, I'm going to pop that off, and then you can see that he holds his tricorder perfectly fine. So you really don't need that. I feel like they just did that as a way to really homage that original action figure, which I think is great. Articulation-wise is exactly the same as we saw with the other two figures. You do have a bit of a ball joint here, but it's primarily just going to look left and right, a little bit of up and down, but not a ton. The shoulders are on pin hinge joints, so that moves in and out, rotates all the way around. Same thing with the elbow, you got pin hinge joints. The wrists also do rotate very nicely. Nothing at the waist, which still kind of surprises me because they literally could put a cut right there, but they just have the hips that move forward and back. They're on ball joints. His are a little bit loose. They're not terribly bad, but you can also see that he does have the bend, the rotation at the knee, the ankles that do move forward and back, and those also rotate. So all that articulation is there. Great figure, though. Really a great figure, and a lot of it just, I think, is because of the accessories. The likeness is a little bit soft on him. I think that the Riker and Picard figures do have a much better likeness to their actors than this one here with Data. But I'm still very happy with him. I think that he turned out really good, and I'm really thrilled. And I really do hope that they do the other bridge crew, at least. Geordi, Worf, Beverly Crusher, those would be great ones to add in there. Maybe some villains, like a Klingon here and there, Q, whatever the case may be. I would love it if I could go back and kind of replace a lot of those vintage figures that I have in my display, because these actually do really work well with the play sets. I have the bridge play set as well as the engineering section. You can obviously see the transporter, so they all work really well with it. So I would really hope that they go forward and do more. His knees also, his knees kind of have this weirdness to them where they kind of look like they are very thin and they kind of bow out, but it's not terrible. But like I said, fits with those play sets really well, so I hope that at some point in time we can kind of go through and replace those vintage ones. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. There's your look at the new 2022 Playmates Star Trek The Next Generation Lieutenant Commander Data. Celebrating 35 years of The Next Generation, this is a great one to add to your collection. So all that being said, if he is one that you would like to stick in there, it will be hitting various retail locations fairly soon, if not already. Or as always, you can do the real simple thing and go online to places like Big Bad Toy Store, Amazon, or even Entertainment Earth. For all of those places, I'll pull links right down there in the video description, where you can head on over there and check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the wide range of Star Trek figures. But beyond that, my friends, that is about it. So as always, I want to thank you for tuning in, and please remember that the real trouble with the world is that too many people grow up. Thank you all so much for watching and taking the time to be a kid.